Okay. Hello, Twilis and deer hunters. Minalex Waffles here with a friend and his friend. Hope you can hear us in the game okay. Is everything okay? You're doing good. Welcome back to more Bloodborne. Lore this time. And while Omar here basically creamed everything alongside Azrael here, I barely touched anything. It doesn't matter though, it's a small area. And there's only a few things I very much need to show off. But I need to go open the dock now because I can't see the lore notes I wrote. I had to put those in a special place too because if my browser's open, the PC will die on me. Come on. There you go. And this one's only 5 pages, so that's good as it is. Okay, so lore here is actually a little hard considering all the characters who were involved with Byrgenwreth. I want to only discuss the area here with some slips into other spots, but I don't want to go crazy. It's just a little tricky is all, but I will do my best. And again, I've taken points from different lore people as specified in... Yo!
I'm trying to get comfortable here.
Stop that! As stated in a previous lore video, I've taken this lore from different people. It is not all my idea because I am not that intelligent and good at finding things, and I am not an avid researcher. So, I take no credit for things unless I specifically say it's my thoughts. Good? Good. Going forward, if I go off my basic knowledge of Byrgenwreth, I'll point us to Alfred. Byrgenwreth is an old place of learning. The area is a huge college, but when we come here, well, does this look like a huge building to anybody else? Because it sure doesn't to me. It's bloody small. I'll take something from some notes I made while listening to Aegon of Astora and Redgrave when they went over lore. This always confused me regarding Byrgenwreth. How is the little building college? While looking over lore, again in Aegon's video, he went over the Dreamlands and brought up things Redgrave has discussed too. This isn't my work, again, so please keep that in mind. I'm nowhere near smart enough to piece all this crap together. I wish I was scholarly, but I am not. Now, the lecture hall in Mensis has somehow been warped and transported into the Dreamlands due to the experiments Mensis has been doing. The lecture hall is connected to the Nightmare, which is why you run through it when going to the Nightmare Mensis and the Nightmare Frontier. My own thoughts, I think Byrgenwreth College ended up there too, because this teeny building makes no sense. Now, if you look around the lecture building when you get there, you will find bottles, cages, containers, and all sorts of things that have research materials in them. That's very similar to this. Which is why I believe it is also part of that. Not just Mensis. Your hunter can also find red jelly in a chest. Considering what it looks like, I am not going to comment. Redgrave put things this way, and the way I understand it was by thinking this. Has anyone ever watched the TV show called Stranger Things? Or heard of that world just beyond our reach? That parallel hard-to-reach place? That's basically what the waking world is and dream worlds are in Bloodborne. At least how I understood things. Someone else might see that differently, but it does make some sense. Shadows of Yharnam also appear in the Nightmare Mensis. Worldly beings can enter dream realms, so they did that to guard the wet nurse, as she's a great one. The job of the keepers is to guard them, so it makes perfect sense if you think that over. And in my Forbidden Woods lore, I went over some stuff about the shadows a little bit. Now, a quick history also from Aegon of Astora. Order of Yharnam today history. Byrgenwreth scholars, excavation of the Tomb of the Gods, quotations, discovery of a holy medium, quotations, and healing church founded, established blood healing. At least this is what we know of to have happened. Parted up nicely, we get this. I'll see if I can edit it into the video for you guys. Byrgenwreth, discovery of the old blood, pull apart of Byrgenwreth, loyalists fear the old blood, radicals seek the old blood. The rest of this is stuff I put together from various lore, so again, I can't put too many things together easily. It's not mine entirely. So everything started at Byrgenwreth from what we can easily see. But the real start is the Pthumerians, but they are for another day. So the scholars of Byrgenwreth discover the tombs below Yharnam and find out about the old blood. I think it started off as a mere study of it and what it could do. Perhaps someone injected it into themselves or it failed. I'm not sure how the healing effects were discovered. But what sane person injects themselves with unknown blood? That's just pure stupidity. But obviously at some point they found out if you take in the blood, it changes you after a while. I have questions behind that one, for absolutely, considering what we know about it. But later. Now at first, I liked Willem and Byrgenwreth. He didn't want the blood messed with, for good reason. And it said he would have been proud of Carol's runes, as they didn't rely upon blood in any measure. Now, I'm not sure if everyone was together at one point, but for the sake of things, let's say they were. Maria, German, Lawrence, Willem, and Mikolash. Now, the last name might seem strange, but I have my reasons, so stick with me here. I think the studies weren't just on the blood, but also how to come in contact with the Great One. To be able to ascend to a higher plane of being. Willem's desire for insight, eyes on the inside, wasn't a bad call, and when you see him, he appears to have some strange growth on him. I made sure to pan up before I killed the guy to let you guys see that in the actual walkthrough. Here we go again with this.
Bringing him outside because he wants to fake fight.
Alright, go have fun.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, you're mostly here so you can assist me if I need it, and you have other inputs. Because I know there's stuff you know that I definitely don't know. Willem also drops the eye rune if you kill him, as I showed. Though I'm not sure if he can use it since it's something hunters appear to only be capable of, but it's interesting to note. As we know, Lawrence left Byrgenwreth after a while to pursue the use of the old blood. He says he won't forget their adage. I believe him, but I don't think he'd listen all too well. After what happened in Old Yharnam, Lawrence really should have had the intellect to bloody stop, but he did not do it. He kept going. Then we have Mikolash. Or Mikolash. But from what I've gathered, he wanted to revive a dead Great One, or perhaps he was doing something else. But honestly, I've never been certain just what he was up to. I think he might have been part of Byrgenwreth, but I have no real proof of this. It's mostly a guesswork and a theory. Azrael, what do you think? Do you think he was part of Byrgenwreth?
Mikolash?
Yeah.
I think he just separated from Byrgenwreth.
So basically, yes.
Yeah. I do think he was part of Byrgenwreth.
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense. Everything started here after all. That's how I got the thought. Now.
Yeah.
So, as we just said, Mikolash also left to form his school of Mensis. Let's take a look at the Winter Lantern. I'm sure I can find a picture somewhere on Google. We'll use the enemy card.
Oh,
that'll work just fine.
No, don't do it. It's a horrible idea.
I know! Now, while it's called a winter lantern, I prefer singing lantern as it makes more bloody sense, but whatever. If you do get a good look at the thing, though, without your hunter dying, and I got a good look from more videos, this thing looks an awful lot like the doll in the dream. Working theory is that they were wanting to use this theorized creation to draw Murgo forward, or at least soothe the infant Great One. For what reason, I can't be certain of. The ritual of Mensis isn't something I have clear information of, but I believe the hunters of the Unseen Village helped kidnap people along with those snatchers. Either everything went wrong or it went horribly right. When we revisit, the snatchers are dead and there's Chime Maidens summoning huntsmen, brick trolls, and other things to deal with you. There's also some hunters there, but uncertain what to make of them. But point being, there's the Cramped Casket enemies, and then the One Reborn. I think whatever Mensis was trying to do worked, or almost worked. Let's move on to Maria and German, which I'm almost positive are part of Byrgenwreth. Maria is known to be from Canehurst, and has close blood ties to Annalise. Why she left, I don't know, but she ended up as the first hunter German's apprentice, who held a deep love for her that she never knew of. Maria hated blood weapons and refused to use them. Instead, she wielded a blade that relied upon skill. As for German himself, there are a few theories on him. He was a toy maker before the hunts started, or a simple farmer. Perhaps if he was a farmer, he supplied Byrgenwreth with crops. As a toy maker, maybe he just wanted to help out and move closer to the college. I don't know if Maria and German were there when the scholars went to the tombs, but they might have been around later to see everyone split off. I'm thinking they helped the healing church take care of the beast problem. I don't know what German might have been thinking, but Maria might have wanted to smack Lawrence silly for not stopping use of the blood. Why do I think that? We'll talk about it when we reach the DLC. With the characters discussed, let's go over the enemies you find in Byrgenwreth. The Garden of Eyes. They might very well be what remains of the scholars. Perhaps they simply turned to beasts, but also had insight leading to their looks and their ability to inflict you with frenzy, which is done by latching onto your hunter and holding a rock to their head that appears to have a spider on it. Aegon and Redgrave noticed that, so I'm sure to note it here. There's also the potential those scholars were experimented on. Whether they were willing or not, I don't know and don't want to contemplate that one. You also come across a brainsucker, which we have discussed is a high-ranked church member from the choir. What they're doing here or how they effing got here is beyond me. You can also find a fluorescent flower here. The rest are only seen in the tombs. I'm wondering if it crawled out of there onto Byrgenwreth before the door was shut, which I'll point out right now. I think this was one way that Byrgenwreth managed to get down into the chalices. But considering we can't mess with this, there's no real proof. But it's an interesting thing to take note of, this thing being right here. It looks like it's something that should be lifted up. However, we can't do that, and it's just an idea. But it seems plausible. The biggest threat, though, if you're not OP, is the NPC hunter Yuri, a Healing Church choir member. She appears to be searching for something here in Byrgenwreth if you don't kill her right away and just watch her. Perhaps she's planning to steal research that was left behind or something like that. Now again, I'll say this building is way too small to be a college, unless they were teeny back then. But I still think the lecture hall was once really part of Byrgenwreth and Mensis. An interesting thing to note is that Willem points out Rom to you. He wants you to find her. Whether he wanted you to kill her, I couldn't say, but he shows you where she is, and after that, everything changes in Yharnam. I couldn't say what happened to the rest of the scholars here. Maybe they left for Yharnam or got out of the city itself. Many could have turned to beasts later and were killed. Goodness knows, this is the worst night of the hunt, given even the Healing Church appears to have gone down. Unless, of course, many of them managed to hide. Mensis also looks pretty much dead, save maybe a few hunters left, and Byrgenwreth was already almost gone. But when the hunt is over... Look, yes?
What's up?
Huh?
I just heard voices.
No, I'm recording.
Mama Bear. I just heard.
Okay. Papa was checking on me.
Nope.
He thought I'd be asleep, but he heard voices, so clearly I was not. Okay, so Alright, right here. But when the night of the hunt is over and you pick childhood's beginning, and you've grown as a great one and return to Yarnum, these organizations might have managed to survive even if only a little. And it wouldn't shock me if they didn't stop what they were doing. These people don't appear to be very bright when it comes down to it. Now I'm sure someone is wondering, Midna, why don't you like Byrgenwreth? We'll talk about that when we reach the DLC. Something of which I really hope Asriel helps me run through.
Why would I not help you run through that?
Thank you. But for now, I think that's the best I can do for the lore of this area. It kind of got away from me, and I apologize for that, but there was quite a bit to note down. So, I thank everyone who watched this. If you'd like to support the YouTube channel, please like, subscribe, and share it. If you'd like to support my Twitch channel, please follow and share it. If you want to join my Discord, it's linked on my Twitch and my YouTube, and the link should work. But above all, I hope you enjoyed this and you had fun. Because I know I did, and they clearly did while they were sparring. So, I will see you Twilights and Hunters in another video. Which might not be for a while because I'm taking a little bit of a break. But till then, I bid you all farewell. Remember to fear the old blood. Bye!